Hey YouTube, Al Cooper here, and this week I want to make a video addressing a lot of comments. So, on the unboxing video of my Kononykheen semi-hollow, I've been getting a lot of comments from people saying it's a scam, it's a crap Chinese £100 maximum sort of guitar, and I just wanted to address them. So, if you've seen that video, I've pinned the link to the next video as well in the comments and in the description. That's all the issues that it came with, but I thought I'd just make a video sort of asking, have I been scammed? Do you think I've been scammed? So what happened was, obviously I'm on YouTube and Instagram. I've been doing YouTube for about 5 years now, thereabouts. Instagram is about 3 years, something like that. And they messaged and said, hey, we like your stuff. What sort of stuff do you do? I sort of said, well, I'm doing this, band recording, blah, 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 projects, blah, blah, blah. They've gone, okay, that's cool. We'd like to endorse you. We'll give you a guitar at a discounted price. There's a decent chunk off and free shipping. The deal is you use the guitar at least once every 3 weeks on either YouTube or Instagram. So in essence, if I use their guitar at least once every 3 weeks, I get money off a new guitar, and they would promote me on their social media by sharing the videos that I use their guitar with. So that's really it in a nutshell. And after a year, we'll give you money off another one. And that's the deal. And I was like, well, I've been after a semi-hollow, and I kind of wanted a new Strat. This is a semi-hollow Strat. Why the hell not? So I didn't pay full whack for it. I paid not a stone's throw off full whack for it. A reasonable amount off it, and free shipping, to be fair. And the unboxing was me trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, because it's a bit unfair if something's been shipped from Russia for it to come in tune and set up right. So really, you've got to give it some time to sort of settle in and get used to it. So the first thing that kind of made me go, I don't know, is how light and cheap this bag is. It is a padded case, but the padding is really not very substantial. I mean, I'd take it on the train to band practice, but I wouldn't put a guitar that I cared about a massive amount in this. I wouldn't put like a Gibson Les Paul with a thin finish in this. It just frankly wouldn't be great. I don't know how it got shipped in that, but it and was fine. But apparently it was fine. Excuse my voice, by the way. I've got a bugger of a cold. I mean, the zip on it is okay. It's a small, sort of cheapish zip. It's not the best, but I thought, you know what, it's okay. They've got to save money somewhere. I mean, it's not as good as a Chapman case, which is the same as a PRS case. The SE cases are fantastic. Fair enough. I looked in the back, and it's got 2 little mini potentiometers and a little horrible green capacitor that it came with. I've swapped out the cap. Again, I thought that's stuff you could upgrade. Fair enough, the first Chapmans were like that, and I obviously followed Rob Chapman for ages. It's got nothing to do with Rob Chapman, I'm just saying. I've seen his brand take off from the ground, and I know that to start with, the idea was a firm basis, and everything that can be upgraded is what they skimp out on, but the woods of construction is where they don't, so you can upgrade it and it's a good basis. So I thought maybe that's what they're going for. The pickups, I've swapped them out now. The pickups were chrome covered, do you know what, I've got them here, hang on. They're very small, not many wines on them, Alnico pickups. To be fair, the base plates aren't made of brass, which is what I would have expected, so I thought maybe they were spec'd out and they were decent pickups. They're only 2 wire, they're not 4 wire. They sound okay, but as you can see, there's just not many wines on them. They're very, very thin bobbins. yeah, I mean, they're okay. They're one of them's BC Rich branded. When I asked them about that, they said they get the parts in from Asia as cheap as they can get them, just because it doesn't matter. It's only a plastic bobbin, for Christ's sake. They get the highest quality parts they can, but it doesn't really matter what it says on them, and then they put them together themselves. But I mean, construction isn't amazing. I know they were covered, but the problem is these pickups came. I wouldn't have had a problem, but they were not wax potted, which means you dip the pickup in wax, and the wax fills in between the coils of the copper windings, and it stops them moving and creating microphonic feedback. So they weren't wax potted. I had to get that done. That was ridiculous. That's something that should not have happened. It should not have left the factory with microphonic pickups, or rather, if that was a feature and not an oversight, it should have been stated on the website. It should have said, because some pickups, like the Seth Lovers from Seymour Duncan, the Seth Lovers are unpotted pickups, and that's part of their whole shtick, part of the sound. But hey ho, I do not believe that's the case. This is meant to be a blend of modern and vintage appointments, so I frankly don't believe them there. I think that was an oversight. The switch is a cheap three-way switch, as you'd find on Squires and that. Again, the mini pots are as you'd find on anything from Squire Bullet up to about PRS SE, really, because on the SEs you get big boy pots, full-size ones, Bournes or something like that. Alpha, I think they are Alpha. And Epiphone, you get the same thing, you get Alpha. The jack on this one now has 2 screws in. Before that, it was a cup without any screws, and the only thing holding the cup in was the solder joint on the jack, which was unbelievable as a piece of design. So every time you pull the jack out, it tugs on the solder joint. Like, who thought that was a good idea? But again, another oversight. Maybe it's just teething problems because they're a new brand. Don't want to be a dick, you know. I mean, I've told them, and they said they'd fix them in the next lot. What else? Let's say the centre block down the middle was made of basswood, which is normally whatever, fine. But one of these bridge screws was spinning in the hole because the bushing that went into the wood was just spinning because the wood was too soft. So I believe that's been fixed now. I had to take it to a professional who didn't want me to mention his name, so I haven't so far, and I won't. But that was a problem that needed to be sorted. The pickup rings, these are flat, but the ones that came on it were curved, even though the top of the guitar is flat, so they weren't really sitting at the right angle. The pickups were sitting at a weird angle. The bridge, this is made of cheap copper. I can see that on the inside of the hole there that it's cheap copper. I know that these knife edges there get slightly chewed up as I've tried to adjust the action. To be fair, maybe I should slacken off the strings before adjusting the action, but either way, it's very, very cheap coppery metal, and it's not very good bridge. I mean, to be fair, the block's okay. Yeah, the block on it is alright. It's a relatively decent sized zinc block. It's not like the really, really cheap ones. It's quite thick, but then it sort of tapers towards the bottom, which I suppose you'd expect for cheapness. But it's functional, I guess. The roller saddles are okay. One of them was stuck, but the guy fixed that. I mean, the bridge is okay. It's okay. The pushing arm, that's a good feature. I like the pushing arm because it's not going to spin around and get broken or anything. So that is a good idea. I think the construction's all right. I mean, it is solid wood. It is solid wood. The routing, to be fair, is relatively neat on it. In the back of there and the back of there, it's quite a neat job. There's no sort of bits of wooden flash about. There was a plastic sort of sheath, you know, behind the plastic square behind the plate. I took that out so they could go in a little bit further. The neck angle was wrong. That's been sorted again. It's been shimmed, and again, that's been sorted. The professional who doesn't want to be named sorted that. The frets were incredibly rough, to the point where it was ridiculous, and really just it hadn't been. I mean, I believe the frets were level, but they were so bloody rough, it was ridiculous. Clearly, just nobody had even attempted to polish the frets before it left the factory. Even a low end squire, you'd expect the frets are less, hell of a lot less scratchy than they were when I got this. And this costs about new. It's about 600 quid. Christ. So that had to be sorted. The neck angle was off, so it was too far like that. So the action got higher and higher as you went up, and that is inexcusable when you're paying this amount of money for this guitar. If you're buying a guitar that's a off-brand Strat copy for 100 quid or under, you might expect things like that because they really are chucking them out at one hell of a rate. But when you're paying this amount for a guitar, you do not expect that to be a problem. And that needs to be sorted. The nut was cut fairly roughly. Again, that's been sorted. The tuners were very rudimentary. They weren't great. It's partly the fault of the nut, maybe, but the ratio wasn't very good. I've put some locking tuners on because they were 20 quid, and it's massively improved the stability. The two string trees here were gull wing style, sort of the W, if you know what I mean. And I've had a hell of a time getting this thing to stay in tune. It's been driving me mad. And I've had this a long time now. If you see the unboxing video, that was quite a long time ago, about 6 months ago. And I've had a hell of a time trying to keep this bastard in tune. Hopefully, I've put these cheap roller string trees I already had on there now. By the way, that one, the screw stripped, purely from the tension of the string pulling it up, it had stripped. So I slackened off the string, a bit of end of a toothpick, dipped it in wood glue, put it in there, snipped it off, and then I've put this on, and again I've put the roller on. So hopefully that should stop that being a problem, because I can't really sell this guitar. I'd feel bad selling this guitar. I really would. I'd feel bad selling it. But it does look cool, and the neck shape is nice. It's a big neck, but it is a nice, comfortable neck. It is quite a nice, comfortable neck. I do like this guitar. It's just the execution of it has been chuffing horrendous in pretty much every stage, I'll be honest with you. There's a couple of flaws in the finish, but I'm not going to harp on too much about that. It should be, it could be neater. It should be neater for the amount you're paying. If it was like a Squire, you go, yeah, fair enough. If it was an Epiphone where there's a couple of flecks of red paint that have, you know, moved too far into the centre of the burst, that sort of thing, you go, well, that's going to happen. So, you know, you can excuse those, I think. The inlay work, I mean, let's be fair, the inlay work is nice. The inlay work is nice. But this guitar did come with a lot of problems. Now, I don't know if this is going to stay in tune now. Purely because yesterday, literally just yesterday, I decided to get around to fixing the second string tree, and I swapped this one out for a roller one. So maybe it'll stay in tune now, maybe it won't. Would I ever buy a guitar from this company again? Now, to be fair, I forgot to mention, it cost me 150 quid to get everything on this sorted out professionally, and that included getting the pickups dipped, getting that sorted. I was going to get it rewired, but I you know, it's not worth the effort, basically, for what it is. Got the nut cut properly, got the neck angle sorted. It was misaligned sideways as well as up and down, so like, it really was a Friday guitar. I mean, it's putting it lightly. Sorry, I'm still dying slightly. So when I contacted them and I said, look, these are all the problems I had with it, and they said, sorry about that. We're really sorry to hear that. We're gonna check. You know, we're gonna make sure this doesn't happen on future models, and we'll refund you the amount it costs to get it fixed. And they didn't even ask for a receipt, which is fair enough. They're quite trusting in that respect. I I mean, I could have shown them if they needed, but either way, they refunded me the amount it cost to get it sorted. So as it stood, I got the guitar that I paid for. And someone else, I'm friends on Facebook with a guy who's a guitar tutor at I believe it's a university or a college or a music college, but it's like a proper bloke who knows what he's doing. And one of his mates has got a Kononykheen and happened to comment on one of his posts, I got a Kononykheen and it arrived and it's brilliant. And I said, that's weird because mine arrived with all of these problems. And he said, that's awful, maybe contact them, because mine was absolutely perfect out of the box and I love it. So that's when I did, and that's when they refunded me. So I'm in two minds whether or not it's all teething problems with the brand or not. And I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I think it's very unfair just to say that, they're rubbish or they're a scam or whatever. But as I'm still having problems, as of, still things stripping, things still not staying in tune. I had to tweak the neck a couple of times, more than I have other guitars in the same room, in the same conditions, in the same weather conditions. Did I get scammed, basically? Did I get scammed? It's a maple top, it's a mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck, Strat scale. I've got Roswell pickups in there at the moment. They're nice pickups. It still feels a bit dull, still sounds a bit dull, this guitar. I wanted to swap the bridge out for a Wilkinson one that looked quite similar. If you go on the Wilkinson site, you'll know the one. The spacing of the 2 points on the bridge is ever so slightly off. So ever so slightly different, sorry. So it's not going to direct retrofit. So I'm probably just going to leave this one as is, but I'm not going to use the trem. To be fair, now I've got the roller string trees, maybe it'll stay in tune. But I think the question is, did I get taken for a ride? Was it ego? Because if someone says, hey, we like your stuff and we want to endorse you, you sort of a little bit go, oh, someone likes my videos, so was it ego, or did I get sold a pup? Because this guitar's all right now, it's decent, but it's as it stands now with everything fixed and the upgraded pickups, which believe me, these are a lot. No, these were 25 quid off a bloke off eBay, and these come new in the Harley Benton guitars, which are 200 quid, something like that, about less than 300 quid, so less than half the price of this. And these pickups vastly outshine these ones. Also, these are 4-wire, so I can pop a coil split in if I want. So the question is, did I get taken for a ride? Because their argument on the site is they're limited run guitars. We get a load of parts from Asia. We put them together in limited runs of this guitar, that model, that model, and when they're gone, then we do something else. I think at the end of the day, the question is, for the fact that it's a limited run, for the fact of what it is. And I do like the idea of this guitar. I love the idea that it's a semi-hollow Strat. It's like a 335, but a Strat. I love the idea of it. And it does feel quite comfortable on the body. It does have a nice neck to it. It's got quite a nice tone to it with these pickups in. Still doesn't play amazing. I've tweaked it. It plays pretty nicely at the moment. It has taken quite a bit of tweaking to get it there. But yeah, at the end of the day, the question is, was it just that somebody forgot to polish the frets and they put the neck on in a hurry? Maybe they used an electric drill and they just drilled a bit too long when they put the string tree in and stripped it. Ifs and buts and ifs and buts and ifs and buts. Should this stuff have happened on a guitar that cost me the amount that it did? And to be fair to them, they refunded me the amount that it cost me to get it sorted, and they said, you know what, thanks for just coming to us and not going out and just shouting the odds, saying, "Oh, that's rubbish." Oh, you know, fair enough. And I don't regard this video as me doing that either, because this is just me responding to loads of people going, "It's a scam on the unboxing." So basically, to put that issue to bed, on the unboxing, I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, because it's directly out the box. It's come from bloody Russia, or wherever I assume it's come from Russia. It says on their website it's built in Russia from Asian parts. So either way, it's come a long way. It's not going to arrive in tune. It's not going to arrive set up. It's going to need some tweaking. But based on the things that, glaring things that should not have happened, spec-wise, not just QC-wise, did I get taken for a ride? Is this just a brand taking its time to... Well, not taking its time, I don't know, it's one guitar. Is it a brand that's finding its feet? How much benefit of the doubt do you want to give them? I think that's up to you, because I honestly don't know. But I like this guitar for what it is. There are things I like about it. Again, I'm going to keep playing it. I'm not going to continue any endorsement with Kononykheen, because that would only mean I get money off another guitar, which could very much be the same. And all the other guitars are sort of solid body, weird looking guitars, and for the same money, I went to the UK Guitar Show and I tried a Chapman, and even though they're £1,000, the pros, I felt fucking nice. Fucking nice. I don't care about YouTube drama. I care about, is it a good guitar or not? And do you know what? Yeah, fair enough. You know, when you pick up an Ibanez and go, they do not fuck about. Even on my semi-hollow, which is 200 quid new, and I got it for 100 quid, you just pick it up and go, they don't fuck about. The same with the Chapman, you pick it up and you can just tell from the off, the way it's built, the way everything's just so precise, and the way it feels, they do not fuck about. It's quite difficult to describe, but for the same money, this is nowhere near the quality of fit and finish and construction. And yeah, so I mean, I've got this now. I'm going to play it. I still like it for what it is. It's an oddball guitar. It makes me not want to play specifically like anyone. But anyway, enough of my yakking. Did I get taken for a ride? I really... You know the whole story. You know the whole story now. So it's up to you to make an informed decision yourself. Maybe they're just a brand finding their feet, and maybe the next run is going to be a lot better, because the first Fender broadcasters didn't even have a truss rod, and they came with a lot of issues, and a lot of early Fenders came with shims and all that stuff. So maybe they're just finding their feet. Maybe it is a scam where they take cheap Asian guitars and try and pass them off as something else. It's quite difficult to pinpoint anything, but that's all the problems that this thing came with. What it took to get it sorted, what it cost to get it sorted. I mean, they refunded me, but I started to fork out to begin with, and that's what I've got now. So that's the whole story. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Yeah, my Instagram link will be down in the description if I remember to put it there. Yeah, thanks for watching. My name's Al, and I'll see you next week. Until then, hopefully when I'm not dying of a cold. See you then. Bye. Bye!